It didn't really start, I want to say, or at least until it clicked in my mind, like, hey, something is wrong. Until I was about 6 months pregnant with my third child. I have four sons, and I was pregnant, and then there was a domestic dispute that also happened. And at that point, it was, oh, okay, well, he didn't mean it. He apologized. He loves me. And then the controlling nature started. Then I couldn't go out and hang out with my friends. Then it started being isolating me. And then it started, oh, no, you shouldn't go out. Or, oh, why are you wearing makeup? As you see, I'm a very bubbly person. I love people, love everything about life. And, I was in my shell at that point. I was like, okay, well, maybe, it's okay for me to not look okay. Let me wear baggy clothes. Let me not wear such bright colored shirts and bringing attention to myself. So I started giving into what he wanted, and then I started to forget about myself. And I didn't hang out with my friends, my family. I didn't even contact them. I probably talked to them once a year. One night when my children had gotten home, one of his cousins said, oh, well, I seen Breanna hanging out with her sister. So of course he asked me about it. He said, hey, were you hanging out with your sister? And I said, yes, I did. So we got into an altercation. He started getting upset. At that point, he took his keys and he threw it, and it almost hit me in the head, and it made a hole in the wall right beside me. And then there was a physical altercation, and my children at that point, I think the point where it was for me to get out, all these altercations happened. My kids never once witnessed it. This altercation, my children were shaking. They seen the whole thing, and they were shaking. And then my kids came up and said, Mama, I can't stop shaking. I can't stop shaking. I didn't even say anything. I pretended that everything was okay. Packed a bag. I never looked back.
It's really scary, listening to her describe that, because what we do know working with domestic abuse victims is that the most dangerous time in a domestic abuse relationship is when that person decides to leave. African American women experience domestic abuse 3 times as much as their counterparts. And they're more likely to be killed or jailed because a lot of times they're not believed. I'm so thankful that, for Breanna, she was able to make that decision to say, hey, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to just play this, cool until I can get to safety. So for her to do that and then come into Safe Harbor and just open herself and her children up to all the services has just been remarkable. She has been an absolute joy to work with, a trailblazer, just absolutely dynamic. And she came into our program about 2 years ago, did everything she was supposed to do, then some, and then some, and then some. So it's been an absolute joy working with her, seeing her navigate through her domestic abuse journey, making sure that she took full advantage of all of the resources that Safe Harbor provides along with our community partners, and she has had outstanding success in our program.
I have definitely thrived. I have thrived and flourished, and then some. With Safe Harbor, I was able to get my associate's degree from Greenville Tech with business management, and I also will be in December getting my associates of marketing, and I have like 5 different certificates for small business, entrepreneurship, human resources. So I am now a college graduate. I am the first of 8 children to graduate. Well, the first of my family actually to graduate college.
Brianna as a survivor is like the blueprint of what we want for our survivors at Safe Harbor. We want them to be able to come in and provide them with safety, provide them with resources and an opportunity to thrive and be self-sufficient on their own without feeling like they're so depleted of support or finances or just ability that they have to return to an abusive situation. We really are grateful that she has come in. She definitely defies the stereotypes a lot of what people think domestic abuse victims look like or act like or where they're from, because anyone can find themselves in that situation. To come to Safe Harbor's door, to get into the program, to access all of the services and the resources is the absolute ideal situation and hope for us, for all of our domestic abuse victims. She has just stepped up to say, hey, I'm going to utilize this time to make sure that I can do everything I can to be self-sufficient once I leave here. And so these resources that we've gotten through Front Porch Housing to be able to provide this housing assistance, partnering with them in the community, has just been an excellent joining of making sure that we can keep our community safer by keeping our residents safer.
If it hadn't have been for Safe Harbor, I probably would have never even gotten my degree. I'm just going to be strictly honest. They helped me with the resources to be able to focus on school. With that being said, like, my life is going to be so much brighter. I'm going to be able to one day pursue my dream of opening up my own group home for children. I'm going to be able to become that business management person that I'm wanting, or the human resource person. Basically, my options are endless. They have been a godsend to me.